This podcast is sponsored by Intentional Living Magazine, your ultimate guide created to help infuse purpose and passion into your everyday life. From expert features that provide valuable insights to thought-provoking content that sparks transformation, this magazine, an online platform, is a perfect source of inspiration for all of those of us who truly believe in the power of intentional choices.
Hi, and today's episode is all about community and food and cooking.
And we've got a beautiful guest.
She's beautiful. Michelle, and I'm not going to say the name of the CIC that she belongs to or that she's created because I forget, but everything's in the show notes and you'll see her right now in this episode.
So here's Michelle O'Dwyer.
So welcome, Michelle.
No, I'm so excited to be here. It's so relaxing and lovely and
You
tranquil.
look bloody beautiful.
Thanks, lovely. I was just saying I've ironed my shirt today for you too.
Especially
very
for
good.
us.
I don't even know where my iron is.
Your mum does your ironing.
True. She's round the
No,
corner.
my mum would never do my ironing.
Yeah, she's
Sorry,
amazing.
Ros, but you wouldn't.
My mum is a legend in her own
She
lifetime.
is a legend. She
Yeah.
absolutely is. So at least we've all got iron tops on. So we're looking pretty fly for a conversation
Yeah.
around well-being and performance and stuff.
Yeah.
So let me just start then. So Michelle O'Dwyer.
Yeah, that's it.
I met you through a mutual friend who was also in the studio over there, Claire Ellis. I think it was about 18 months, 2 years ago, an event on the Wirral.
Do you know?
It was a women's event. And I always remember meeting you and you
I
were so
remember.
friendly and like your bubbly self. And I was like, oh my God, she's really lovely. I think you might have been drinking that day.
Yeah, I
'cause
think I
we've got a
probably
story.
was. It was.
Yeah.
Did you
'cause
say she was boss?
she was boss? She was boss.
I
They were
met
the
you a
days
few
when I would
weeks
have a
ago.
drink for confidence and then
Yeah.
probably carry on.
Oh yeah, is that okay?
Wow,
That's interesting.
okay.
But I always remember meeting you, seeing a smiley face and thinking, oh, I can see why Claire's friends with her because she's got a lovely energy and Claire has got the same type of energy. So that's where I met you. And then I met you again not long ago when you came along to one of our women's circles.
amazing.
And that's another podcast we're going to talk about later in a different episode. But we wanted you to come on so that we could speak to you and just tell your story about, because we're all about well-being and life and performance and we want to help people and we want to help ourselves be better and be well and healthy. You've got a CIC called Bay Tree Cooking Academy.
Catering.
Woo!
Catering
Yeah, it's close
Academy.
enough. Close
Go
enough.
on, tell us.
CIC, Bay Tree Cookery Academy, CIC.
There we go.
There.
Close enough, you know.
She can't speak this week.
Honestly,
all
this
right.
week, I think it's the full moon.
I
I'm
think it
blaming
is.
the full moon. So really fascinated into how you came about creating such a beautiful CIC to help
Tell
people.
us about what it is.
Really, it starts at the beginning because I was a trained chef, worked all over, did the Olympics. I've worked in France. I was very, very fortunate to just do so many amazing things. And I was going through a bit of a tough time, 2014, and started volunteering as well as running a catering business. I had my business up at Speak Training Education Centre, volunteering. I was working in the food banks in my spare time. And Mark Ord had teacher training available. And he said, it's free. So if it's free, I'm going to do it. Never dreamed, I've got dyslexia, so I never dreamed I'd be a teacher. In fact, I was the worst student in the world, but loved learning and being a teacher. So trained as a teacher, didn't do anything with it. And then still volunteering. And I think it was 2017, Mark said to me, Shell, we really want to get people into education and we'll pay you to teach food education and then we'll bring them in and you can go on to lots of other courses, build confidence, get them back into education through food. And that's how it started. And it just grew into its own beast. So I worked with adult education for about 5 years. And it was absolutely fantastic. So I worked with ex-offenders, drug and alcohol rehab, domestic violence, the perpetrators of domestic violence. I worked with young people, teenagers. I worked with military veterans, which was one of my passions. A variety of different backgrounds. But it was great, but it finished during the term time. So it was great during term time, but then what happened the rest of the time? So that's how I created the CIC. Didn't know what I was doing at all. Got a lot of help and support, and that's how the CIC was born.
Amazing. So what's
Isn't
just
that a
the
great
It's
story?
amazing.
Community interest company.
Yeah.
So what is the community interest company delivering now?
Right. So we're still teaching.
Okay.
So cookery lessons throughout Mersey. So it's a mobile cookery lesson. So we go all over Merseyside, and I get funding from lots of lovely, kind people. And I do cookery classes. And again, it's about nutrition, lifestyle, healthy eating, social interaction, especially after the pandemic. A lot of people had become socially isolated. So it's about food is something we've all got in common. Even if we can't cook, we can still talk about it, our favourite foods. My icebreaker is, what's your favourite food? What's your favourite food?
Pizza.
I know, mine is.
I don't know. I just love food.
Someone once told me popcorn.
Oh, no.
I know. They said they can't have it in the house because they're eating. But that's generally what we do. We bring people together to learn new skills, upskill, because it's a dying art. You know, where your family, your mum might teach you, or your grandma might teach you, or an aunt. These things, or granddad. These recipes, our heritage isn't being passed down. Oh, wow. My grandma was a chef. I spent a lot of time with her because I love to eat, and subsequently I picked up. So I've been cooking since I was 7 years old.
Wow,
and absolutely love it. So that's what I bring to my students, and also it's about budgeting, because especially with like the crisis at the moment, fuel crisis, fuel poverty, the price of food.
Crisis, the price of food.
And there's a lot of food waste, because again, there's a lot of myths around food. So people are throwing away perfectly good food. Yeah. So it's all these things we try and cover in a very short space of time.
So who are you teaching these cookery lessons to then? Is it like, are you going into certain people, or can anyone sign up?
It depends on the area. It depends on the funding. So I get contractors, so I get private contracts from. Yeah. So I've been working with Options for Supported Living now since 2000. I'm going to say 18, the end of 18 possibly. And they're adults with various degrees of disabilities. And absolutely love it. It's completely changed. I thought there was lots of opportunities for people with disabilities, and there isn't. And there needs to be more done. So it really is, I'm learning as much as I'm teaching them. It's all again about inclusiveness, and regardless of your disability, everybody can do something. So then I hire a place and we teach. Or sometimes when I'm working with the veterans, I'll go in and teach them. Sometimes I teach on a farm. If they're in supportive housing, I'll go in there. Sometimes they're in addiction recovery, so they can't leave. And, if you've been in long-term addiction, that you get all your taste buds back, and they're all chomping at the bit then, because they can actually taste food, and they've got the lust for life. So then I come in and we do cooking.
Amazing. Sounds fantastic.
It's every day is different.
And I'm thinking as well, the different types of people that you're getting in, but you're bringing them together. So it's probably like a connection piece as well.
It is. I mean,
because it's like you're playing and creating with stuff. So it's fun, isn't it?
It's lovely. And people make friendships, and you're getting to know people in your own community sometimes. So if we go into a community centre, it's bringing all these people together, and they get to know each other. And then the more I did it, the more people wanted to do more. So then that's how I started doing community events. So when I'm not teaching, I fundraise and do big community events. So for the last, I think 5 years, I've been doing Christmas Day. Wow. So we do a big Christmas dinner.
Christmas Day, didn't you?
That was last year, yeah. Tell us about that, the Christmas Day.
So we started 2016, and it was generally because I struggled. Christmas Day. I've got no kids. All my family got kids and everything. I'm like the odd one out. But, I've got my dog. My mum and dad go, you always bring up your dog. But yeah, I've got my dog. But it's not the same when you've not got kids and stuff. So I thought, what can I do? Selfishly, I thought, do you know what? It can't be just me who's like this. It's got to be other people. So I thought, right, I'm going to do a Christmas Day dinner. Started off in Joseph Lappin Centre. I think we had about 50 people.
Wow, that's loads.
Well, it goes. I mean, last year, Christmas Day, Claire, who's with us later, she actually helps me the last couple of years. Last year, we had 206 people Christmas Day. Now, this is including volunteers. So when we do Christmas Day, we just say it's community Christmas. If you want to come, that's grand. I don't ask you why. You don't need to know your background. It's all about people coming together to support each other. So sometimes it's from different faiths we have come in, different backgrounds. The volunteers come for whatever reasons they do. So it's just grown. And what I say to people is, come to mine. Yeah, don't worry, you just come to mine. So it's just grown, and it's amazing. It's one of the best feelings in the world.
How do you plan for not knowing how many
we do?
People are
we do
up?
Because I work with different agencies throughout Merseyside, so I send it out. So it goes on social media, but also they can't book on without booking through like
One of
such
the
as
agencies.
such and such a charity or that community
Yeah.
centre. I didn't expect, because the year before we had 150 Christmas Day. So I didn't expect to go to 206. And it was blessing because we had so many Ukrainians there.
Of course.
So we did Eurovision last year and I organised my own Eurovision party and we had 250 people there, completely
Wow.
free. And we
Wow.
did food from all over the world. That's where I first met the Ukraine community, who I absolutely
Yeah.
adore. I feel like I've been adopted by them.
Yeah.
And Claire came and helped me then, and it was just amazing. We had a big 14-foot screen, music, surround sound, absolutely food, and it was an alcohol-free environment because, again, we've got families. I've got people in addiction recovery coming. I want it to be a secure environment so everybody can enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes when alcohol is involved, you don't get that atmosphere. And the same with Christmas Day, I have a zero tolerance because we've got young people and very vulnerable people there. So I just want to create a safe space for everybody to enjoy themselves.
And that's amazing to know that 206 people actually wanted to go to Christmas dinner without a drink. There's more and more people. There's more and more people choosing not to drink.
Well, we have loads of activities as well.
Yeah.
We have Sway with Ray, who comes and does like dancing for us and gets everybody up dancing. I've got oh goodness, I forgot his name. Chris Sage, who volunteers. He's a DJ and he volunteers for free every year. My local gym, they collect all the food. So they brought, oh my goodness, they just bought so much because everybody who comes Christmas Day gets a hamper. So we build hampers as well. We have an inflatable grotto. We have an area. So if you're on your own, I organised a creative area so people can come and do like drawings, glit crafts, and then we've got a games area. So if you're on your own, then you can go and join the games area and get to know people. It's very much an old-fashioned traditional Christmas. And someone said to me once, "You don't celebrate Christmas?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I have the best Christmas Day ever." And it's, at the end of it, last year I went and got a curry, actually. I couldn't face eating a roast dinner.
Yeah. That's my favourite
206
dinner.
of them.
A roast.
Is it?
I think a roast dinner.
Yeah.
Lord Derby donates every year. He supports us. We get so many, I couldn't do this without all the support. But Lord Derby's been supporting this for years from Knowsley Hall. And this year he donated. He's got his chefs to cook pheasant for us.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had pheasant Christmas Day. Nothing but the best.
That's amazing.
Put us down for next year.
You won't have to wash dishes.
I'll wash up, not bothered. I'll wait on. I'm good.
So if there is any big companies watching and,
Yes.
please we'll start advertising. I'm sort of planning it now. And we couldn't do this without the kindness of people's support, donations, either monetary, because even things like we hire in all the crockery for Christmas Day and all the kit to do it. And that's over £1,000 because I don't want people eating off paper plates.
No, it's a proper
nothing but the
Christmas
best.
Yeah. Well, we'll make sure, will you send us your website and all your details, and we'll make sure that they're put in the show notes.
Amazing.
And this goes out on all channels, and it's on YouTube, and then it's on Spotify, Apple, and all the major ones. And we'll make sure that so if anyone's listening, that feel that they want to be part of it or could donate or volunteer,
That's it. It's just
then the details are in the show notes.
amazing. That'd be absolutely fantastic.
I want to take you back to that you mentioned about there being no alcohol at the events, which I think is a really good idea. And I know that might sound a bit like a party pooper to some people, but I know that you've been on a journey by choice. So if you could just tell us about, because you haven't had a alcoholic drink since last January?
Last January, but I was drinking when we were still doing events, and because so a lot of my work is I work in addiction recovery.
Yeah.
And I just wanted them to come and not feel apprehensive about being there on the day with people drinking.
Other people, yeah.
And I remember one of the first Christmases I volunteered, I was actually working in rehab Christmas Day, volunteering Christmas Day in rehab. And I just noticed the stress that they were under, because Christmas is a very challenging time for many. And if you put alcohol into that mix when you haven't, for whatever reason, sometimes it can bring up a lot of stress for people. So I was still drinking when I was doing these events, but I just felt like it was the right thing to do. So last January, there's many reasons why, but last January I started doing dry January. I think I'd had a month or so before where I stopped drinking. And didn't really think I was going to stop at all. But there was a few things. I got I was in hospital last January, still undiagnosed, unfortunately, with, they thought I had a bleed on the brain. It wasn't, but they don't know what it is. So I suffer with pain down one side of my face, which various degrees of pain. Sometimes it's quite bad. And then I went to Wellness in the City. My little thing there. And I met a really good lady there. I'm terrible with names, so I'm sorry, but met her there. We were volunteering.
Does Claire know her name?
Yeah, Claire knows
What's
her name.
What's her name, Claire? Catherine Jones.
Kath Wynne. Is it Wynne?
Kath Wynne
Jones. And she was talking about her. We were volunteering that day. So I was there to support one of my best mates, amazing lady, Claire Ellis. And not really, wellness for me wasn't something that, wellness was for me something I did for other people, not for myself. And I'd never really taken, like I was saying, I took my health and everything for granted. But I believe things come into your life for a reason. And sometimes it shines a spotlight saying, this is not right for you. And I already knew that alcohol wasn't right for me. Sometimes I drink because I'm stressed, come home, have a glass of wine. It's the weekend, have a glass of wine. And as I was getting older, it just wasn't sitting right with me. I was becoming depressing. I was, tired. I was saying
Fear.
The anxiety for me was just crippling, as well as the weight gain. Like when you were younger, you could be able to drink and then you'd be fine. And then, you wouldn't put any weight on. And then I noticed I was getting like this beer belly. Yeah. And it wasn't going. I was training. I was going to the gym. I was trying to diet, all these things. And actually it was just basically stop the plonk. So met this lovely lady. She inspired me. She talked about her journey with alcohol. And I just thought, I'm going to give this a go. So I just told everybody I was taking a break. And in my head, I was taking a break. And I'd also downloaded this book called The Alcohol Experiment, which does say, just take a break. Don't have to tell anybody you're quitting. See how you go. And it took the pressure off drinking. Yeah. And I was just saying, the first time I went out to a black tie dinner, and people presume I'm really confident, but when you're going to something like that, it's dead nerve-wracking, and I feel like a fish out of water, but people wouldn't know that. So I'd always have a drink to calm the nerves, and then I'd have another. And you keep going and going. And the first time I went to an event without drinking, I remember I felt like I was bodily shaking, having to go to talk to people and navigate the world and feeling self-conscious and feeling exposed. It's very vulnerable. You're in a very vulnerable situation. But at the same time, I was reading this book about how empowering you'll get through it. And I did. Yeah. To get through it. And then every day got a little easier. And then about 3 months into it, I was still having ongoing health issues and stuff. But my partner took a picture and we were just in Southport for the day. And he went, look at this. And I couldn't believe how much I got rid of the panda eyes. I always had dark rings around my eyes, the panda, and my skin looked clear. And I thought, I'm onto something. And I just felt better for it. And as the months went on, and I kept saying, I'm still on a break. Then I had to navigate the girls' holiday.
That was a good one. Where was it? Magaluf.
Magaluf.
Oh, pray for you.
I love it.
I've just done the shag do, haven't I?
The Benidorm.
The Benidorm one.
Well, do you know what? It's one of my favourite places, and I've been going. My brother's a DJ out there, and I've got friends out there. Yeah. But we went for a friend's birthday, and obviously I thought, well, I might have a drink.
Or might not.
I might not. Yeah, I didn't know, but I thought I'm just going to see how I feel. As it was, I was in a lot of pain anyway, but got out there, and first time going out without drinking, and I had a ball. And I had to be fair, the year before we'd gone on the girls' holiday, and I started to get acid reflux all the time when I had a drink, and it was getting worse. And the year before we'd gone on holiday, and I suffered terrible acid reflux. None of that.
Yeah. And you remembered everything.
Well, yeah, and I had a better time. We were getting up the next day.
It's getting up and being able to be fresh and to do things the next day.
Poor Claire had to share it because I'm a morning person anyway. Yeah. So I wake up all springy and Claire's like, and I just go take myself out now for a walk. But, in fact, I had a better time. And, one of the best parts of the holiday is when we decided to buy inflatables. So we got, was it
the
unicorn?
pool?
Unicorn
Yeah.
on the beach. So we got these like massive unicorn inflatables, and we're running around the beach having races, not a drink in our hand or nothing, and we just had the best belly laughs. And
Yeah,
for me,
really feeling it
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
numbing out.
and enjoy, where normally I would have just gone on, and I probably wouldn't have had as much fun, and we literally had a ball. And so that was reaffirming again, you know what?
Thought, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I don't want to do this anymore. So that's that.
But that taking a
Amazing.
break can be any time, can't it?
Yeah.
And it's choice, and then the choice just gets easier.
I think more and more people are embracing the lifestyle. Mine was
Definitely.
saying more, perimenopausal, and also from a mental health,
Yeah,
because it was
sure.
really alcohol was having a really negative effect on my mental health, and also the reasons why. So people presume that if you're an addict, you'll be drinking every day or something like that, but that's not the case. You can be functioning, but for the reasons why I drank, I didn't like it. I felt it was a lack of control on my part. And it's only because I work in, addiction, and I've been learning about the psychology, and learning about myself, that
all
I
part
thought,
of-
no, enough's enough.
All part of the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
That's amazing. So inspirational, because I think anyone listening to this podcast and listening to your journey and knowing that it is possible, because I think there's more women our age that we speak to, and men,
23.
Yeah.
who are not feeling like they used to off drink. And it's like, because your body it's a toxin, it's poison.
Yeah.
And we're at that age where the hormones are out of balance anyway, so we're just making it even worse. And the whole thing about the brain fog thing and not being able to think, and
The brain
feel
fog is
clearly.
horrible.
And it's like, I went away a couple of weeks ago, and I had like a couple of glasses of Prosecco, like most days. But then after the first few days, then after a while I was like, oh my God, I feel really tired, and I don't want to be on holiday with the kids and feel really tired. So then I knocked that in the head, and for the rest of the holiday felt great.
Yeah.
Got to another place, and then I had a couple of more. I thought, oh, do you know what? I've had a few days off.
Yeah.
Oh, we're on holiday again. And then I had a glass of Prosecco, and then I felt like shit again.
Yeah.
So my body's telling me there's something in it. It's telling me something. And one day I could feel okay off it, and the next day I don't. So I'm definitely on that path.
You left me a message, didn't you, saying, "Oh, I've just had a realization. Sitting by a pool with sunshine means you have to have a drink in your hand."
And that
That's
was
the
it.
And I
conditioning.
was sitting there going, I'll just read my book then. And and Mark's going, do you want a beer? And I was going, no, I actually don't.
There's non-alcoholic beers now, and they are really, really good. But one of my favourite drinks I found when I was in the old Magaluf was that I started drinking ginger beer, and I'd put it into a really nice sort of whiskey glass with some ice and a slice of lime, and it's really
Got
like
that
so you've got that experience.
Yeah.
And actually, it's just about. And then sometimes I feel like I've got coupe glasses at home where I used to have my prosecco in, and now I'll just put a bit of ginger ale in it or something. So again, it's more to do with the psychology behind it, and that having something in your hand.
Yeah, I had a few mocktails as well. So and they were lovely, and I was like, you know what, that was lovely. Probably a lot of sugar in it, but at least it didn't have the alcohol. Because I used to think, my mind was, well, if I'm going to have something like a mocktail, it's got loads of calories in it, so I might as well have a cocktail with the alcohol. So then you've got the sugar and the alcohol making you feel like crap.
And then, so, I mean, you were saying before about the things that you put into yourself, and I say I never used to look after myself. So this has been a voyage of self-discovery for the last since last January, really, about an alternative health lifestyle. It's all right me saying to my students, well, try this, or, self-love and all this, but I actually wasn't practicing it myself because I was, you call it a busy fool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Practice what you preach about, and we're the same. We're really conscious of it. We've got to walk the walk and talk the talk.
The lady in our Life Freedom Method clinical trial, she was drinking a lot of diet Pepsi, like 3 litres a day, and also drinking wine at night.
Oh my goodness.
And within the first 2 weeks, she'd lost so much weight because
And
she didn't
bloat.
know about the toxins in all of it, and the bloat and all of the rest of it. And again, the regaining control and understanding when you cut it out how much of an impact it's had on you. And she's still not back to drinking it, because she said, and now that I know what it does, I can do better.
I think you've just got to give yourself that chance. But I just think, for me, I think I was drinking for the wrong reasons, and that just enough's enough. And I think as you get older and wiser, do I dare say, but you just grow as a person and as a woman as well, we become more empowered and we're able to go, do you know what? No, that's not for me anymore. It's fine. Everybody else do it. You have your own journey. I'm just on mine, and I'm just trying to find what I'm comfortable with.
I completely get that. And I think because you're so empowered in it, because my husband will still go, what's up with you? Go on, have a drink. And I go, I really just don't want one. And you think I'm in a mood. No, it's not that.
Whole question, what's up with you?
What's up with you?
Yeah. What's wrong?
What's wrong? Why aren't you drinking?
What's the matter? Why aren't you drinking? And and it's like, because I don't want to, it makes me miserable.
I found that more and more people though, but it just, I think, we're just so conditioned now to do that. And with my job as well, I want to be on the best performance I can be, because some of the times it can be quite challenging.
Yeah, of course.
And if I'm walking in hanging or with a 2-day hangover, and trying to cook as well and all that, especially as chefs. And we were always drinking.
Inspire these other people about how to nourish your body with creating lovely dishes and food to feed the body, and you're feeling like shit because you're just
that's exactly it.
But that is a thing with chefs, isn't it? Like a hospitality thing, the drinking thing.
Yeah, we
massive.
do. I mean, me and my friend were laughing because I've invited them to there's an event next month where it's a clubbing night, first time.
Sober.
Yeah, and it's in Manchester. And
is it Rise and
Shine party?
Yes,
We went to the last one.
The 11th of May, I think it's
on.
Oh,
no, 25th of May.
25th
Might be
May.
different, but it looks amazing. The DJs are amazing, all that. And it'd be quite a good experience to go there. And I was just saying to my friend, and she's a chef, and we used to get up in the morning, go to work 6 a.m, and do a Jaeger bomb, and then we'd carry on drinking and cooking all day. I mean, the kitchen was a big open kitchen, so people would come over and buy us we'd have Prosecco bottles lined up, and then that was our day, that was our norm. And yet me and her now are I'm not bothered, let's go out and party, but the thing is, we've been there and done that.
Yeah. And it was fun at the time.
I don't know. It was good.
Sometimes.
Well, when we went to the Rise and Shine, there was quite a lot of really young people there, which was dead inspiring.
Yeah.
There was loads. And I was shocked when I went to Magaluf how much they've got of non-alcoholic drinks now.
Yeah.
In Magaluf.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be the last place on earth.
Yeah.
But actually, especially with the Instagrammers and all that, they don't particularly want to be on a picture or whatever they're doing. Drunk.
Off the head.
Yeah.
Drunk.
Yeah, thank God we never had cameras back then when I was.
Zero alcohol, but they haven't got anything other than cow's milk. It's fuming.
Did they not have any other choices? No. Benetton?
No.
That's bad, isn't it? Well, on that note, obviously all of the details of your CIC will be in the show notes, but I'm going to ask you this question. What is it that Michelle does each day for her own self-care?
Do you know what? I don't talk negativity to myself.
Yay.
Don't put myself down. And that's one of the things. I'm a very critical person with myself, and sort of, I'm not this enough. I'm not clever enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not enough. And the beratement that I could probably give myself. So getting up and actually navigating a day without tearing myself to shreds, and actually being a bit more forgiving. Yeah.
Forgiving,
Yeah. And is something and it's getting easier.
Celebrating you, missus.
Yeah,
You've
definitely.
reprogrammed your mind, and
Definitely.
obviously you've opened your mind back up again because it's not being dulled down with the alcohol.
I mean, I feel like, I'm so lucky because I say my mum is a big influence on my life, and we went through so much as children. And my mum, who, we were at one point in our lives, we were homeless. We were homeless. My mum had a full-time job. She was, trying to, literally we had the clothes on her back and we never went home again. And, we just had to, sort of go, and we were like gypsies moving around trying to find a home, So my mum, single mum, 3 kids, we were homeless. She got through that. She worked full-time. She did a degree. And she changed our whole lives, and she never gave up. And I think that for me, you know, my mum dubs it down. I'm like, come on, mum, you're a flip.
model.
You know, she's a flipping legend. That put, you know, knowing that, and people say, why'd you do what you do? Because I've been there, you know, and I look back now, and we didn't have any money. We didn't have a lot in the cupboard. And that's why it was the reasons why I started cooking at such a young age, is because my mum was working full time. I was bringing up my brothers. I was cooking for them at such a young age. And I didn't mind, because that's what you did. And we didn't have a lot we didn't have a lot of food. So I learned how to sort of
to make the most with what you've got.
And, you know, my mum, we just did the best we could. You know, we had like charity clothes, and now it's fashionable to go to the charity shop and go shopping. But back then we were ridiculed and mocked, and you know, we were called Dunlop Green Flash and stuff like that.
Remember that? Dunlop Green Flash.
They're dead trendy now.
I know, I only knew now. Take those bullies back and give them. But that's what, you know, and then, so when you've lived through that, and you've, you know, my mum fled domestic violence. And so in my heart, I just felt like it's the right thing to do. So that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. And then the more you do in the community, the people that you meet in the community inspire me to do more. It's never ending. And unfortunately, when people get to know me, I tend to drag them on and bring them along for the ride. And, but it's just, you know, Claire will tell you later, the people that you meet are inspirational, and they're on their own personal journey. And it's lovely the fact that, you know, sometimes, especially when you see them in rehab or something, and they've been through their absolute mill, and then you see them like 6 months, a year later, and they're absolutely smashing it, winning at life. And, you know, to play a tiny role in that is just phenomenal. And, you know, so a lot of time I see my students, they'll go, I'm still making that spaghetti bolognese. Or something like that.
I need some lessons.
Well, I'm sure you've inspired loads of people today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you.